So this month I have generated a little over 12K off of content creating, and my goal was 10K, per month. And this goal has been a goal of mine for the past year and a half. And finally this year we have achieved that goal of 10K. And, literally, went past that goal, to 12K plus, and that's a big achievement. And literally off of a desire, it was a desire of mine to continue living the lifestyle that I currently live, continue living in a zip code that I live in, and continue just enjoying, my life and having a little bit of time freedom back. Nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. If you're comfortable with that, that's fine, and nothing wrong with that at all. If that's providing for you and your family. And that's the best, I'm literally just sharing my success to inspire others that are in the same journey, because I watch others that are in the same journey to inspire me and to learn from and to get resources from. So basically, to get to that 10K a month, it took that desire and then that goal as well. And the goal was, 10K a month and creating content. And content was the business, and the system runs the business, and the network that it took for me to build that business, basically. And so that's what we're going to get into this video. I'm going to keep it short and simple and right to the point. Okay, so like I mentioned, I made a little over 12K on this month, and the month is not even over yet, and we're sitting at 12K plus. So hopefully we finish at least 15 or a little bit over 15. We're still in the middle of the month, so we can hopefully pass that 15. The goal is going to stay at 10K a month for the next 3 months. Then once we hit that 10K for 3 months consistently, then we can bump that up to 50K. We want to make sure the system is good before we can move on to the next step, because I feel like the biggest problem that businesses have after having a few successes in the business is they jump the gun too fast, is they jump to big things too soon, so we want to be able to handle and repeat what we're doing right now, so that way we know it's not luck, so that way we know the system is working, and then from there we can improve the system, we can grow the system to get an outcome of a higher revenue. And that 12K, it is all profit. I do have a team, so I have a team of 3 people, and that's part of the system, and the system runs the business. So it took me to change the type of person that I am to be able to make 10K. And on paper, actually making 10K in America, that changes you. Literally right now, I just got bumped into a different tax status. I'm no longer in the tax status that I was in a couple months ago, beginning of this year and the previous years. Now I'm in a different tax bracket, and so to get to that 10K, it wasn't easy, but here we are. It took me literally a year and a half to be able to get here. And how we got here? Through content creating content off of YouTube. And the type of content I make is short form content. It's not even long form content, literally short form content generating 10K plus. Last month we made 5,000, and that was the beginning of hey, the system is working, we're getting there. And so this year we just hit a little over 10K, and that's very exciting. So we're gonna stick to that 10K goal for the next 3 months, and then once we achieve that, then we're gonna bump that up to 50K. And I think that's very realistic. That's very it's challenging, but at the same time doable. 40% is a good it's a good threshold for this goal, of 50K revenue. 10,000, that was a very high goal for me, and literally that changes our whole tax bracket. We are no longer in the same tax bracket. Now we're going to be filing different tax. I want to share the things that got me to that 10K a month, and that's what I'm going to be doing on this channel. And by the way, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Edu, and on this channel I'm going to be documenting my journey on how I am generating this type of income and the system that I'm operating to be able to get me to my goals. And again, at the end of all this, it takes takes a desire. It takes a desire and a system that will be able to get you there, plan, you know. Content is what I've been doing. What type of content? Short form content. And the goal was 10K a month, you know. So 10K a month, we achieved that, you know. We're not going to cross it off just yet, just because, you know, if you do something once, it doesn't mean you can do it again. But if you do it again twice, it means you're onto something. But if you do it 3 times, it means you know what you were doing. And that's literally what that is. And to be able to get to that 10K, obviously a system. It took us a system. I realized that, you know, every video that I post, I look at viewership, I look at the time that I post, I look at consideration in the title, the thumbnail, usually funny, short form, no more than like a minute. Transforming this whole thing into a business, it makes sense because I have the team that I'm paying, and me paying that team, I'm able to leverage some of that money back in tax. So at least, you know, that money that's going out is accounted for, you know, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, when it comes time for taxes. And basically that's why I'm looking at this whole system as a business. And I have to, before even looking at it as a business, I had to change my mindset on understanding financing, understanding liquidity. You know, basically what I'm trying to say here is you have to understand money. You know, if you want to generate more money in your life, you have to understand the concept of money and understand money itself. Okay. And my conclusion was money is no different than water. If you go to the water bank, you know, you go, you know, in a river, there's plenty of water, but you can only take so much home with you, right? And so if you create a good system of taking that water to whatever that you live, or taking that water whatever that you want it to be, you know, then that's your system, and that's your, you know, you could call it a business, and that's what you're doing to take money from the main source into, you know, your whatever that you're at. And and understanding money and comparing it to water, like I never want to keep, you know, money sitting in one place, because if you keep water sitting in one place, it dries up, or it's just going to get bad, you know. So the best way to keep money, you know, to keep money circulating is just let it flow like the river, let it flow like the water it is. Okay. My situation right now, currently, my wife, you know, she's been, you know, this is very deep and personal. My wife, she's been facing deportation, and I had to come up with the funds to be able to get a lawyer to help us fight for this. Basically, have the money to go to war. You can't show up in a war, you don't have resources to be able to win the battle, okay? That's unheard of, winning a battle without resources. And so I literally had to level up myself, you know, to be able to keep safe what I want. And, you know, my wife means everything to me, my family means everything to me. So, you know, I had to get more income to be able to support that, to be able to keep her. Lawyers' fees are very expensive to keep our family together. And so, you know, that the understanding of money, and then the problem that I'm currently facing in my life, you know, combining those two together is what, you know, propelled me to really level up my life and generating any type of income that's above what you're creating right now. I think that you have to, 1, switch your mentality, and 2, you completely have to switch the person that you are right now, because the person that you are right now is obviously not making the money, the type of money that you want to create. So to make the type of money you want to create, you have to become the type of person that creates that type of money. And what I mean by that is I'm a 10K person, you know, and a 10K person does what a 10K person does, you know. And I don't want to yap too much. This video is literally just an intro on where we're at right now, currently, and the steps that we're taking to get there. And literally all it took is a desire, you know, to be able to the desire, which is living the lifestyle we're living. I want to live in the city, you know, it's a certain zip code, it's a city. Washington is one of the top cities, is one of the top expensive cities to live at. And, you know, I like living in a nice lifestyle. And so to be able to support that, I have to have the income that supports that. And, you know, we hit that 10K, you know, this month. And so next month is 50K, and yeah, stick around to know more. I wanted to share more in this video, but I think I'm just gonna keep it short and simple and informative and right to the point. And if you're watching this, that means you're somebody who's literally looking to do the same, to level up income, to level up your life as an individual, in your personal life and in your income. I invite you to join this channel, like and subscribe, and join along on the journey. You can get some tips and tricks to be able to level up your life